What's up, y'all? It's your boy R to the A to the S. Yes, Roz here with C with Carson Blog, and today I'm at the Legacy 2012 conference, and we are with the homie Json. Brother's been preaching the gospel on the corners to the cornfield, so we're gonna get in with him, find out what he's doing. What's up, Json?
What it do, man? Appreciate you having me, yo.
All right. First question I want to ask you about your song Too Human, and I want to ask you, like, what do you think as far as like expectations that people have as far as artists? Like, I'm at this conference and I'm seeing artists, they kicking it with people, they like yourself, you know, you're personable, stuff like that. But should artists be expected to be that way? Like, I've gone to conferences or I've gone to concerts and artists, like, when it's time to perform, they out there, but after that, you know, they hitting on the next plane to the next city. Or before the concert, they not really kicking it with people. They just perform and that's it. Should you be expected to be personable? Should you be expected as an artist to really kick it with people? Or is it okay to just, you know, be yourself and do what you guys giving you to do as far as your craft? So
I think it can be okay to be to yourself. I think we are commanded just by scripture not to be personable in a way that I have to talk to you, but at least be nice and not blow you off if I have opportunity to. So I think when dudes, like, man, it's draining to do a concert and then go talk to people. Right. And the reason it's draining is because it is. Like, it takes energy to give real conversation to people. I don't know if you really trip off that, but when you meet new people and they got questions, like, it takes a lot of investment and energy to have those consistent exchanges. And sometimes I'm so tired, and if anybody like me, when you tired, you get kind of irritable. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I feel like, man, I don't want to go out there, or people might want to go out to eat afterwards, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go, because if I go, I'm so tired and irritable, I'm not gonna be able to give you what I really would, and you might leave with the wrong impression. You know what I mean? So sometimes I choose not to come out, you know what I mean? Then or other times that I press through. So I think sometimes it depends on the personality. So, like, from some tests, a person who's introverted, like, it takes more energy for them to give conversation to people. Right. A person who's extroverted, it doesn't take them as much energy to give conversation to people. I know that's kind of deep, but I'm just saying, I think that's a reality. So just take in mind, like, dudes be dumb tired after a concert. You give your all at a concert, right? Then you got 100 people want to talk to you, and you realize, man, I ain't gonna be able to be a personable person. So it's better not for me to not even go out there.
Next question, I want to ask you about the industry. Like, I hear a lot, I'm not in the industry like that, but I hear a lot of people in the industry, producers, rappers, who talk about, like, the Christian rap industry is, like, really no different from the secular industry. For yourself personally, what has been your experience as far as Christian industry? How do you act godly when people are not acting godly, or might be doing it for the money and things of that sort? So what is it like being in, like, Christian rap industry?
It's definitely an industry.
Okay.
And when I say industry, I want to say that the concern is money, right? And that's just the reality. So I think one thing that I've experienced different, at least with some of the people that I've worked with, is the type of integrity. You know, so I'll use Reach and Lampmode, for example. Okay. I've seen both of them operate with integrity. You know what I'm saying? So that's really dope to see. On the flip side, as a whole, it's an industry. So the distribution company is concerned about who's going to make money. Right. Because if you don't make money, then they don't exist. It's industry because your image is important in industry. The way you look, like, people are concerned with how you look. In industry, people may say people need to see your face on your album cover, right? Because that's going to help people identify your album with you. That's industry, right? The industry is not concerned about good albums; they're concerned about good songs. Right. That's industry. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, in a lot of ways, it's not any different, but it's not necessarily bad that it's not any different, because I think we should operate like it's an industry. Okay. You know, so for example, like, a person may get mad, like, dang, dog, like, we Christians, why you want to charge me for a verse? Right. And it's like, well, if I don't, then I'm gonna have to do music for everybody, and then you're gonna take my time, you're gonna take all of that, but that's industry.
Right.
So I would say it's a good and bad thing to industry. It's true that the Christian industry isn't any different, but in all ways that's not necessarily negative or bad. So.
Okay, last question I have you. I'm gonna ask you about Lecrae. Of course, we see the platform he has right now, and he made a song called Misconceptions, and of course it's about the misconceptions about God. What would you say would be some misconceptions that you might hear people say on the internet, or just people might come to you personally, like, yeah, Lecrae, blah, 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 blah. What would you say about you knowing him as a friend that people have about him that people say, like, nah, that's not accurate?
Lecrae, my dude, I love him to death, yo, like, real talk. Anybody who know me know how I am when it comes to my friends. Misconceptions about Lecrae. He's about fame. He wants to be famous. It's definitely a misconception about Lecrae. Or he does it for the fame. Probably a better way to word it. Another misconception about Lecrae is that he's not concerned about the church or younger believers. I think that's definitely a misconception about Lecrae.
Okay.
Another misconception about Lecrae is that he doesn't preach the gospel. Some people have said that. I think that's a definite misconception, and you got to be, in my opinion, crazy to even think that. Another misconception about Lecrae is that I would say that some people assume that that he's selfish, in a sense of, like, you don't see him work with all of these different people or do music with everybody per se.
Right.
And I think you have definitely, as of recent, seen Lecrae branch out a whole lot more, but he's the last dude you would call, like, selfish in any regard, if you ask me.
Okay.
I think he'd give you the shirt off the back if you needed it. Another misconception about Lecrae is that I don't know, that he thinks, and I would say this is a misconception, that he thinks Christian rap as a whole is whack.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's definitely a misconception. Another misconception is that Lecrae is not who he used to be, and I would say it's a misconception in that at heart he is, though some of his philosophy may be different. So he's different than who he was in some philosophies, but I would say as a person, he's not. You know what I mean? Another misconception, I'm just trying to go through the line. Another misconception is that everybody just follows what Lecrae does. That's a misconception about Lecrae, because it's not a hierarchy like, oh, Lecrae does this and everybody just follows suit and dudes just fall in line to whatever Lecrae does. And I would say Crae doesn't even want dudes around him who are like that. So that's a definite misconception. Just a couple of things that come to mind. So.
Okay. And where can we follow you at? Upcoming albums, stuff like that?
Yeah, man, I'm in the lab. About to start grinding on the next project. Don't want to get too much out about it, but I'm definitely grinding. So you can connect with me, lampmode.com. You know, the L with the M behind it. You can also check me out at Facebook, /Json116, Twitter @Json116.
All right. Thank you, Json. This is Proceed with Caution Blog. Kobe Sutz, and I'm out. Triples.